Hello and welcome to the Lake District Yogi. My name's Kat. This class is going to be a super sweet full body flow. We're going to create the space to move mindfully in and out of each shape. We're going to connect to our breath and our heart space and really create a wholesome, nourishing space in which to move and feel that deeply grounded sense of presence. So, as always, if you need to pause this video and bring anything that you need to your mat to enhance your practice, to make it more comfortable or accessible. And when you're ready, we'll start in all fours, on all fours, in cat-cow. So, as you arrive here, take some time. So that could be padding your hands from your little finger to your thumb, placing each finger pad down one at a time. It could be closing your eyes and simply feeling into whatever is present in your body before we even begin moving. It could be tucking the toes and finding a gentle rock or a sway that can be super soothing. So you may want to start like that. And then close your eyes if you haven't already. And just connect to your breath. So we often start our practice lying down or seated and have a few moments of mindfulness or meditation, but there's nothing to say we can't do that same thing here while we begin to move. So just allowing your awareness to settle on your breathing as you continue to ground yourself into this first pose. Allowing your mind and your body to arrive in the same place at the same time. If you're rocking, you can find stillness. Next, smooth, long in-breath. Just drop your belly, lift your chin a little. And as you breathe out, begin to press into the hands, maybe the toes as well if they're tucked, and round the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, press really firmly into the earth. Find that sense of connection. Inhale, drop the belly. So try to visualize your legs and your arms completely stable. They are the stable container, the strength. And then within that stability, we find fluidity. Okay, one more like this. So close your eyes if you haven't already. Can you find an even deeper connection to your own breath, your own body, the sensations you're experiencing? Find a neutral spine, untuck the toes if you had them tucked. Take the right arm out to the side. Take a full breath in here. And as you exhale, thread that arm underneath. Move your cheek or your temple towards the earth and then press into the hand and peel back out as you breathe in. Exhale, send that arm through, palm shining upwards, touch down or hover. Press into the hand. Lift back out. One more like this. Exhale to thread the arm through, press into the hand, sweep it back out, place the right hand down on the mat. Don't miss that opportunity to feel the sensations of the fingers, the palm touching the mat. Breathe in and take the left arm out to the side. Exhale, feed it through. Hover or touch down, press into the right hand, peel back out. Feed it through once more. Breathe yourself back up. One more time, finding that flow. Breathe your arm back up, place the left hand down. Tuck the toes. And then walk your hands back and lift yourself into a squat at the back of your mat. Take any amount of time to get settled here. You You can really wriggle into the hips. You can keep the fingertips on the ground, or you can bring your hands to your heart and the elbows inside the knees. Find your gaze point, your drishti, or close your eyes. I find that super challenging because this is very much a balancing pose for me, but if your heels are flat, you may find this stable enough to close your eyes. And just feel in. Closing the eyes obviously helps us journey inwards to find deeper connection, listening for our body's feedback. Okay, if you haven't already, bring your hands to your heart. Whoops. And then we're going to press up to standing from here. So we're just going to press into the feet and then push the arms up towards the ceiling. So you're in this lovely Tadasana with the arms overhead, the feet nice and wide. Take a grounded breath in and then draw the hands down to the heart. You can heel toe the feet a little closer together. And then stand just on your right foot. Bring your left knee in towards your chest. You can clasp your hands around your knee and draw it in, or you can just hold the knee there. And then place the left ankle on the right knee. Bend the right knee any amount. We'll find this figure 4 shape. Hands can come to the heart, or you can bring the arms alongside the ears and make this like a figure 4 chair. Find your breath. Find your gaze point to help with your balance. And then press into that standing leg, release the left foot. Do any amount of walking on the spot or pedaling. And then once again, refocus on your gaze point. Draw the right knee into the chest. Maybe clasp the hands around to draw it in. Stand really tall, lifting out of the waist. And then place the right ankle on the left knee. And then find somewhere for your hands, either at your heart or extending the arms. Can you sink the hips a little lower? Keep that foot flexed, that right foot. And then press into that standing leg. Release your hands. Heel toe your feet a bit wider again. Sweep the arms overhead on a nice slow in-breath. And then fold forward, softening through the knees. Draw the hands down to the midline. Find that forward fold. When you get here, any amount of movement, sway, wriggling, bending and straightening the knees, just listen. Feel into your legs, your hips. See what your body is telling you. And the next in-breath, halfway lift, fingertips to the floor or to your shins. Still nice wide feet. Really feel that stability, that strength in your foundation, creating just that extra bit of space between the feet can really make us feel really rooted, strong and powerful and grounded. So next couple of breaths, you can do any amount of lifting and lowering as you breathe. And then we'll walk ourselves into plank. Keep the feet really nice and wide. We've got this lovely wide feet. And we're going to move through a flow. So you can bring the knees down and move through cobra. Or if you're ready, I know it's early on, you can come down halfway, lift up through your upward dog, and then your downward dog. And then pedal here for a couple of breaths. So all these landing points are an opportunity to feel into our bodies. They're not something to rush through, they are an integral part of the practice. Okay, we're going to step our right foot between our hands, so lift it out behind you if you like that as a sort of transition or an additional stretch. Soften the back knee to the ground, lift the arms overhead. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, cactus the arms, so bend the elbows, shine the palms forward as if they're pressing into an invisible wall, maybe a little micro back bend. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, find a long pyramid, straightening out as much as you can through that front leg. This is a great place for blocks. If you have any, or even a little pile of books, just lift the earth to you a little, might make this a little more accessible. And again, once here, just explore, find any amount of flow or movement. Just think about maybe drawing back the right hip just a fraction, even if it's just an intention to ensure the hips are as square as they can be. Okay, next we're moving on to this front leg. So we're going to spring onto our right leg. If you need to keep the fingertips on the floor, that's absolutely fine. If you can lift up without putting your foot down, bring your hands to your heart, find this warrior three. Find your drishti, keep that standing leg super engaged. And then touch the toes down at the back, lift the arms, find high lunge. Center yourself here, just take a couple of grounding breaths. Can you sink just a little bit more as you find this deep sense of presence? And then bring the hands down. You can step straight to downward dog, or you can cruise through your flow. Any one of your choice. Back to downward dog. Couple of moments here to land, to feel, to pedal, to reconnect with the breath maybe. Maybe every time you land in downward dog, you would send your awareness to a different part of your body. There's the really obvious ones, and then maybe there's more subtle places we could think about. The center of the palm of your hand, right deep into the armpits, the back of the neck. And then when you're ready, we'll send the left foot between the hands. However you get there, soften the back knee, lift the arms overhead. Work into exploring that balance between the stretch and the sinking, which is what we want partially. We want to stretch into the front of this right hip, but we want to also control it so we can use pressure through this front foot to make sure we're not just collapsing in on ourselves. Slow breath in. As you breathe out, cactus the arms, fully engage them, shine through the palms, spread the fingers wide, press them forward. Inhale with resistance, push them back up. Exhale, bring them down, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, and find your long pyramid using your blocks or piles of books if you need. And then either land here in stillness or explore any amount of movement. Listening, feeling, breathing. It's kind of all we ever need to do really in life, isn't it? Listen, feel and breathe. And then we'll spring onto that left foot. So maybe look where you're going. Maybe flex that front foot as you spring forward. These are just little tips for getting there. And then really engage through that standing leg, but also the back leg. Point or flex the foot, it doesn't really matter, but keep that back leg engaged. Feel the strength. If you're feeling very wobbly, start to really engage the lower abdominals. Draw in that core a bit. Use your drishti. And then with control, set the back toes down, lift the arms up into our high lunge. Take a joyful breath. Feel the strength in your legs all the way through your core. Feel the energy right to the tips of your fingers. Feel that container. And then where can you find fluidity and softness within that strength? Beautiful. Bring the hands down to the ground. And again, you can step straight to downward dog, or plank, and then move through your vinyasa. We always have choices, often way more than we think. And then we'll land in this downward dog for a good few breaths. So, all the options available to you. You can come to the knees and find child's pose if you are done with downward dog. You can soften the knees as much as you like. If you need to lengthen the spine, if you're still rounded a little, that's the thing to do. Bend the knees and then lift the hips. You can always work towards straightening through the legs. You can find movement. You can gently move the head from side to side, up and down, yes and no. Feel for your breath. What is your breath telling you today? Okay, we're going to make our way to a seat. You can come down to the knees and swing your legs forward. You can hop, jump, however you want to get there. Bring the legs out in front and then bend the right knee. Bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Take a breath in, feel that length growing out of the waist, nice and tall, nothing strict or, we're not creating tension by sitting bolt upright, but we're creating length and space. And then as you breathe out, we hinge forward, the arms can walk down the mat. You can lift the arms overhead, keep them alongside your ears until you reach your edge and then lower them. So again, there's options, just feel what works for you. And then when you get here, you can turn the palms up, or you can have the forearms lying down. You can hold anywhere on your leg. Just try to keep a little bit of a lift through the heart, even as you fold forward. And breathe here. You don't have to have this leg straight. You can bend it, pop a blanket under it. That's why it's useful to kind of bring a lot of nourishing things to your mat. You never know in your practice when you might need something. Even if you are very used to doing this pose and you're quite, flexible or strong, there are always going to be days when you think, actually, I just need to lean into a little bit more softness and tenderness towards myself. Next in-breath, come back up. Place the right hand on the outside of your right hip. And we'll press up into stargazer, peel that top arm open, find some joy in the expansion. Set your hips back down, switch legs. If you're on a very hard floor like me, you might want to shift to the right hand side of your mat to ensure that your knee stays on the mat when you lift up into stargazer. If you're on a soft floor, that's not quite so pressing maybe. Okay, so think about what you did last time. So think about growing first, finding that length, that kind of proudness, like imagine that you're just shining out of your heart center as you feel this proud posture, this beautiful length, and then fold in whichever way works for you. And this way we are sure that we're preparing for the journey into the pose. We're not just flinging ourselves in mindlessly, we're going in mindfully. We are listening all the time for feedback. This side may feel very different to the other side. You may need to do it differently. And I honestly believe of everything yoga's taught me, that could be one of the things I carry with me most, is this idea of, if we travel through life mindfully considering our next step or where we're going, metaphorically or literally, we tend to move into situations with that mindful awareness. We're not just being flung about in life from thing to thing to thing without any control or agency or awareness of what's going on. Preparing and thinking about how we are entering into a situation or a conversation, or even how we want our day to feel. Slowly come up, plant the left hand, move into your stargazer. And obviously that's not to say life doesn't throw curveballs. We can plan as much as we like, and the day will be what it is, but we can set an intention to move mindfully through our life. Try it. Things may feel very different. Slowly set those hips back down. Find a nice, easy cross-legged shape. I'm turning, but you don't need to. Next, in breath, take the arms overhead, maybe close the eyes. Feel as the arms move through the air. So you're feeling the outside of the arms, but also feel the inside of the arms, the sensations within the arms as they lift up. Let the palms find each other in space. Pause here. Take a breath. And as you exhale, move into a gentle twist. Right hand behind, left hand on the right knee. Find that length through the spine and then twist just a little, just as much as feels comfortable. Think about where your head is going. We can look round over our shoulder, but we don't need to do that. This is a spinal twist. Our neck does not need to be hoiked around like an owl. Okay, next in breath, slowly, slowly close the eyes, lift the arms, feel the sensations inside the arms as they lift. Let the fingers find each other, a gentle kiss. And then a gentle exhale as we twist to the left hand behind. Seeking length. And then this little twist. Keeping the head somewhere safe and soft. Come back to center, lift the arms one more time. Let the palms touch, a little kiss. And this time, as you breathe out, draw the hands back down to the heart. Slowly, slowly. Maybe when they get there, you may bow your head in just to seal your practice. Nothing woo-woo, just a way of honoring yourself. And then you can release your hands and open your eyes. And as always, I will say a huge thank you for joining me on the mat. I just love these more kind of fluid, intuitive practices. I really love to encourage people to explore their own bodies and their own experience of yoga. I've been in classes before that have been very much just a sequence of moving from one pose to another pose to another pose. And quite often, if they're very energized classes, and I do teach them like that, that is kind of inevitable. You have less time to pause in each one and less time for anyone to guide or instruct, but where possible, I love to offer an opportunity for people to feel, to have the time to come in and out of their poses, to really embody their yoga rather than just moving through it. So if that resonates with you and you feel that, please let me know. I would absolutely love to know if you enjoy that really cultivated, embodied sense. Because that's what it's all about, in my humble opinion. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe and like and share and all the things, and help me grow this little channel so I can spread the yoga love to more people, because it's all I want to do. Anyway, from my home to yours and from my heart to yours, wherever you are and whatever you are doing, have a beautiful day, and I will see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.